بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Oftentimes we find non-Muslims in this society astounded when they hear Muslims state that Abraham was a Muslim. And not only Abraham, but the other prophets and messengers that are mentioned from the descendants of Israel and from other than them. They're astounded to hear this statement. But the reality is the sentiment that they have with them when they hear the Muslims make the statement is only because they're not properly contextualizing what the Muslims mean when they make the statement. As you will find that oftentimes they are holding the understanding that the Muslims mean by this, that Abraham and the other prophets and messengers clearly, distinctly, and manifestly stated about themselves that I am a Muslim. I am a Muslim. However, these prophets and messengers didn't say that. They were not aware, or should I say, they did not utilize the word Muslim, as the word Muslim is an Arabic word. And Abraham did not speak Arabic. Abraham, as is well known, spoke an ancient Syrianic language. So when the Muslims say that Abraham is or was a Muslim, the Muslim does not mean by that he outwardly said, I am Muslim, using this word that's within the Arabic language. It doesn't mean that. On the contrary, what the Muslim means, his statement in that regard is based off the basic meaning of what a Muslim is. So when a Muslim says Abraham was a Muslim, they're not stating that he claimed to be Muslim. No, they're looking at the meaning of Muslim and saying that his actions were in accordance with that meaning, and so he was a Muslim. So, with that said, it's important for us to know and understand what is a Muslim. A Muslim is one who practices Al-Islam. And the meaning of Al-Islam from a religious technical sense, it is Al-Istislamu lillahi bit-tawheed wal-inqiyadu lahu bit-ta'a وَالْبَرَاءَةُ مِنَ الشِّرْكِ وَأَهْلِهِ. That it is to submit or surrender to Allah based off the principles of monotheism, and to willfully comply to Him via or by way of one's obedience, and to disapprove of and or distance oneself from polytheism and the committers of polytheism. This is Al-Islam, its meaning, its religious technical meaning in a general sense. And it's this meaning that will cause, because Al-Islam and Muslim is in a form that denotes the doer of what was just stated. The Muslim is the one who actually does what Islam says, meaning he surrenders himself willfully to Allah based off the principles of Tawheed. He complies willfully to Allah by way of his obedience. He distances himself and disapproves of polytheism and its people. But this particular definition is its meaning, what it entails. And this is why the Muslims say Abraham was a Muslim, because he submitted himself to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala based off principles of monotheism. He willfully complied with Allah via his obedience to him. And he outwardly disapproved of polytheism. He outwardly disapproved of and distanced himself from polytheism and people that practice polytheism. So when we look at it from this particular perspective, from what the meaning what Muslim actually means, and what al-Islam means, and how a Muslim is the doer to what is described in the definition of al-Islam, then there is no doubt that Abraham was a Muslim in that sense. But he wouldn't be the only one. Moses would be a Muslim. Aaron would be a Muslim. Isaac would be a Muslim. Ishmael would be a Muslim. Yusuf would be a Muslim, and other than them from amongst the prophets and messengers, they will all be Muslim. Why? Because they are the ones that they were the ones that actually implemented that which would cause a person to be considered a Muslim. They were willfully complying and submitting to Allah Ta'ala by worshiping Him alone and shunning the worship of others besides Him, to the point where they even distanced themselves from the people of polytheism for Allah's sake, first and foremost, in order to obtain a reward with Allah, but secondly, to not be led astray or misguided. So the main point is, based off this is what the Muslims mean when we state Abraham was a Muslim. That we don't mean by that he called himself Muslim, that he openly called himself Muslim. We don't mean that. But what we do mean is that he was one that fit the definition of what a Muslim is, as was just previously mentioned. So this is what the Muslims mean by this. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala knows best. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.